Hello, 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 everybody. How are you all today? Thank you so much. I'm Leah Niederthal, founder of Smart Gets Paid, and we are here to talk about value-based pricing. So let's dive in to, if you want the, actually, before we even do that, two things. Oh, looks like I am getting a message that this is not posting to LinkedIn. I really hope it is. You guys can let me know in the chat if you can see this. But we are here to talk about value-based pricing. If you would like the worksheet for what we're going to talk about today, comment below and tag me. Make sure you do @ and tag me with the word pricing so that I can get you the worksheet for the strategy we're going to talk through today. If you comment pricing below and you don't tag me, then if you are watching the replay, I might miss it. I might not get notified that you have asked for the worksheets. So be sure to comment pricing below and tag me in your comment. All right. So value-based pricing. What are we talking about when we talk about value-based pricing? What we mean by value-based pricing is pricing your work around the value that your work provides to your clients. Now, this is in contrast to the way a lot of us and a lot of consultants have been taught to price our work, which is either hourly or a retainer that's like kind of masquerading as hours, or a deliverable based. We've talked before about the bad math of entrepreneurship. And you've probably heard the bad math of entrepreneurship when you started your consulting business. Basically says, take the salary that you want to earn in a year, divide it by the number of hours, and that's your hourly rate. But when you do that, you will be working hourly, you will limit your income, and you'll limit your potential for earning because you'll be tied to that hourly way of working, and you're going to work way too much. So value-based pricing is one way that we can get paid more, help our clients get great outcomes, and do it without overwork, right? Without working, doing more than we currently are, and sometimes even doing less. So let's talk about how. So few things here. You might hear some background noise. There is a emergency response vehicle going right by. All right. Again, if you're just tuning in and you want the worksheets that we're talking about today for value-based pricing, just comment below with pricing, with the word pricing, and be sure to tag me so that I'm notified that you would like the worksheets, and I'll get them to you. All right. So let's talk about why this is so hard. So when your pricing isn't dialed in, when you're not using value-based pricing, a few things happen. First, you can undercharge. You can charge less than you could be charging. And in fact, a lot of women I talk to are actually undercharging based on what they could be charging. And when you do that, you leave a lot of money on the table. It also feels like when you can't, successfully charge and, get paid with value-based pricing, it can feel like the only way to get paid more is to do a lot more. So you feel like you have to add a lot more scope, you have to have a lot more hours, you have to over deliver just to increase what you are charging and getting paid for your work, right? And like we said, it limits the amount that you can make. Even if you think that a great example of this is if you think that you can only increase your rates by a certain percentage year over year, right? Then you're still tied to that very first rate that you had, and you'll always be limited in the amount of money that you can make, all right? But when you can dial in your value-based pricing and you can get paid based on value instead of anything else, you can, like we said, get paid more than you ever thought you could. You can do it by getting your clients incredible outcomes without having to add more scope or more time or do more, all right? And you can dramatically increase your overall revenue. Just a perfect example of this that happened just in the academy. One of my academy students posted a while back that she was going to price, she was, scoping out a project, for one of her clients, and she was going to price it at $7K, right? $7,000 for this project. When I spoke to her, gave her a little bit of guidance around value-based pricing, she was able to sign that same client at $37,500. Okay, like that's a 5x increase. Okay, that's what we're talking about when you could get paid much more than you thought you could. All right, so let's look at what this actually looks like in practice. And let's go to, all right, here we go, the workbook for value-based pricing. And again, if you'd like this workbook or the worksheet, please comment below and tag me, comment the word pricing, and make sure you tag me, just sort of mention me so that I get notified. Okay, so we're talking about value-based pricing, where you can get paid way more for your work without doing more work. Okay, so everything I do is grounded in the purchase funnel. So let's just get our bearings here. Where does value-based pricing play in the purchase funnel? The purchase funnel, of course, being the journey that any client goes down as they decide and evaluate whether to work with you or bring on a provider. All right, so value-based pricing lives here, right? Your client goes down from awareness, knowing about you, to familiarity, understanding what you do, the value you provide, through consideration. This is what we would consider the sales process. The sales process is the consideration phase. And of course, the purchase phase, where they give you money, right? Where you exchange, you write a proposal, you get a signature, and they give you money. So value-based pricing lives here, okay? So let's just talk through a few key principles that can guide your value-based pricing. All right. The first is prescriptions, not a menu. So our job as experts is it's almost like we're a doctor, right? We take in the information and we make a prescription. A lot of times because maybe selling feels uncomfortable, or we, feel like our clients have all the power, we give over the power to them. Like, well, whatever it is that you want to do, right? Whatever you want to do is what we should be doing. But the problem is that our clients often don't know how to solve the problem. They've come to us to solve the problem, right? And so they're looking to us to lead. So our job is to prescribe, not give them a menu, right? You would never go to a doctor and be like, and the doctor says, well, what test do you want to do, right? That's what we go to an expert for. All right, so prescriptions, not a menu. We have to tell our clients what is necessary to solve the problem. All right. The second principle is teach our clients how to think about the work. So if you've ever worked with me, you know that I am like Captain Explicit. If there is something I want you to know, I will make sure you know it, right? And I teach my clients that as well, because we often, what a lot of women do is they will, talk about the scope of work, right? Here are all the things we're going to do, but they don't teach their clients how to think about that. It only looks like, oh wow, here's a lot of stuff that I'm going to be doing for you. We have to teach our clients how to think about the value of our work, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, the next thing we want to do is we want to value jam it. All right, we want to value jam our pricing. When you charge hourly or by deliverable or whatever, and you say, I'm going to work this many hours, or this is how many hours you're reserving of my time, and you put a price to that, it's very easy for your clients to say, well, what's your hourly rate, right? And if you charge a high hourly rate, they could be like, well, that's expensive, right? Same thing if you do a workshop or just an item price on any particular thing. What we want to do is we want to jam our scope full of value so that it's actually the client gets better outcomes, and it's actually harder for the client to say, well, what's the cost of any particular thing? So we sort of blur it a little bit by providing a lot of value so that it's hard for the client to cherry pick and say, well, this workshop is expensive or this hourly rate is expensive, right? So we value jam it. And the way we do that is we use the racetrack. All right. So, little story here. We had a family friend who was in the market for a new car, and he started looking at BMWs. And he went to the dealership, and the dealer he was talking to was looking at a particular model that he had decided he wanted. And the dealer said, or the salesperson said, well, you can get the this model, the base model of this car, or this trim, or you can get the performance trim. And the performance trim was like a lot more expensive. And the our family friend said, well, what's the difference? Like, I'm sure it goes faster, but like, what else? And the salesperson said, well, when you buy the performance package or the performance trim, you get to spend a day at the BMW Performance Racetrack in Asheville, North Carolina. And guess which one he ended up going with, right? The performance trim. He's like a total, car guy, and he wanted to drive on the BMW Performance Racetrack. So we use that same principle with the racetrack strategy. What that means is something that is low lift for you, but high value for your clients. Okay. Back to the BMW example. That racetrack was going to be there whether or not this guy was driving on it that day or not. It was something that was low lift for BMW to provide and really high value to the guy who bought the car, right? So we use the racetrack strategy to increase the amount of value and perceived value, but actual real value. And this is how you value jam, all right? And then, of course, price based on value, right? If you're doing great discovery, if you know that the real value that your clients want from this work, not just the scope that they want you to do, but the actual value of the work, then you're pricing based on value, not on hours, not on deliverables, not on time, not on months, only based on the value, all right? And that happens in the discovery call. All right, that's where that comes. So let's walk through how to actually do value-based pricing. All right, there's a few key components here. First, we talk about the client. We write down the ultimate value that they're looking for, which comes from discovery. And then the reason why, we'll go through each of these components here, but the reason why there are 3 columns here is because I always recommend to my clients, and I teach my clients how to create 3 options in a proposal. But just for the purposes of this, we're going to go through just one. All right. So first, you need a value-based title. So value-based titles are beyond things like bronze, silver, gold, right? Those titles mean nothing. It just means a little bit expensive, a lot more expensive, and even more expensive, right? We want to teach our clients how to think about the work. So we are going to title even the program, the set of activities, we're going to title that based on value, okay? So a value-based title is first. We can sort of skip helper text. Helper text is only necessary if you're doing 3 options. Once we call the program something based on value that they'll receive in their business, we list the core activities. What is necessary to start solving this problem for your clients, right? Not just your set of services or what you know how to do, but what's necessary to solve the problem that they have outlined that they need to solve, all right? Those are the core activities. Then we add the racetrack items. What are things that are low lift for you and high value for your clients? And then finally, what's the price, right? But the price is not based on these things. It's not based on these things. The price is based on the value. It's actually based on these 2 things. What is the value? And the thing is that coming up with a value-based price is not something that you calculate, it's something that you decide. And that's why you have to really, it's very important to be really clear in the value that you provide, right? To be clear, the first sale is always to yourself. All right. So that's what we're talking about with value-based pricing. We teach people how to think about the work. We outline the activities that are necessary to solve the problem. We value jam it, and then we price based on value. All right. So if you want the worksheets for this, please comment pricing below and be sure to tag me just at Leah Niederthal so that I can get you the worksheets and you can go through this on your own for your own work. If you have any questions, if you need help with this, if you want me and my team's help to implement this for your business so that you can start to get paid more for your consulting work, you can start to help your clients achieve better outcomes, provide more and sell in more profitable projects, email me here on LinkedIn or email me at team@smartgetspaid.com and we'll see if we can help you out. All right. Thanks again for tuning in. Again, next time you sit down to write a proposal, to price your work, next time you're sketching out something to bring to a sales conversation or, think about how you would solve a particular problem, instead of thinking about it in terms of hours or time or deliverables or scoping based on activities or anything else, the number of items, right? Go through this exercise and think about the value that your work provides and use the value-based pricing approach to get paid more, to build a better relationship, deliver great outcomes, and have a more profitable consulting business. All right. Thanks again and look forward to seeing you soon.